Hello there and welcome to the Double Zero Challenge channel. We do just one thing on this channel, and that's to take these two dice and their d10s and see how long it takes before we roll a double zero. The odds of doing that are 1 in 100. So if you want to write down your guess just now, don't write it in the comments, just write it for yourself and let others watch the video and play along for themselves. There will be more things to explain as we go along, but let's get cracking. So, roll number 1. And that is a 3 and a 7. I'll read them all out as we go along. And that's a 3 and a 4. And we have a 4 and a 3. It's a 0, but it's a 9. Remember, we're looking for a double zero. We will take account of any other doubles we encounter along the way as well. And that's a 5 and a 4. It's a 0, but it's a 7. And that's a 2 and a 3. And we have a 1 and a 7. And that's a 3 and a 7. It's a 0, but it's a 7. A lot of 7s so far. Sometimes the dice gods just deliver us the same numbers. It's a 0, but it's a 9. And that's a 3 and a 1. And we have a 7 and a 1. That's an 8 and a 5. And that's an 8 and a 3. And it's a 0, but it's a 6. And that's a 0, but it's a 1. And we have a double 8, so we'll stick that on the bottom row there. These don't count for anything, it's just to keep track of it, because on the way to 100 rolls, we would expect to see 9 other doubles. However, real life, doesn't always match the statistics. So let's move on. And that is a double 6. Just rotate that. Yep, that's fine. I know it's got a little line under, but I sometimes like to rotate it just to make absolutely sure in my own head. But it's not a double zero, so we carry on. And that's an 8 and a 5. And we have a 7 and a 3. And that's a 1 and a 7. And we have a 4 and a 9 there. We have an 8 and a 5. And that's a 0, but it's a 4. And that's a 3 and a 4. And that's a 2 and a 5. And we have an 8 and a 1. And that's a 2 and a 5. If you watch this channel a lot, you know that there is minimal editing, so if it goes off the board, that still counts. It's an autocracy, it's decided by me. And we have a 9 and a 1 there. And that's a 9 and a 7. And we have a 6 and a 2. That's a 0, but it's a 3. If this channel ever became super popular, I'd love to imagine that. That's a 0, but like to imagine that would be a meme format. But the internet collectively decides these things. We do not dictate them. That's a 1 and an 8. It's a 0, but it's a 9. And that's an 8 and a 1. And we have a 4 and a 3. Oh, come on. And that's a 6 and a 4. Goodness sake, can you not pick up a bowl? We have a 9 and a 1. And that's a double 5. Third double of the session. So statistically fewer than we would expect, but that's the way the dice rolls. And we have a 7 and a 3. That's a 4 and a 3. And we have a 5 and a 3. We have a 2 and a 3. Dice God's given us some 3s today. That's a 0, but it's an 8. By the way, every 50 rolls, we have a massive shake of the dice roller with two hands. That will be coming up very shortly, but it's just about to come to roll 46. And that's a 5 and a 7. And we have an 8 and a 6. And we have a 3 and a 6. And that's a 2 and a 6. And for the 50th roll, we have a 9 and a 5. So we move on for 100 rolls. And that's an 8 and a 2. And that's a 6 and a 4. We have a 4 and a 3. And that's a 1 and a 4. And that is a double 2. So we'll put that on the bottom shelf. It's a 7 and a 1. And we have a 1 and a 6. And that is a double 0. So we have 55, 58 rolls there. And on the way, we encountered 4 other doubles. So beating the odds of 1 in 100 by a solid margin. Thank you very much for watching this video. You take care and roll on next time.